Welcome to our channel Right Click Education. In today's video we will learn how to implement Angular Material Dialog in our Angular application. So without getting any delayed, let's get started. First of all, type Angular Material in your Chrome browser. Open the link material.angular.io, which is the official website of Angular Material. Click on the component on the top navbar. You can see in the sidebar there are lot of Angular Material element. We will pick Dialog because we are going to implement Dialog box today. Click on it. So first let me show you how it looks like. So this is an example of Angular Material Dialog box. So if you click on this button, one pop-up will come out. So let's see, if I click on this pick one, you can see a pop-up is coming out and you have whatever detail you want here, and then you can click on OK. It will get disappeared, right? So whenever you want to show any message on the pop-up or anything on the pop-up, uh, you can use this Angular Material Dialog box. So without getting any delayed, let's start with the implementation. So in order to implement it, first we will import the Mat Dialog module. So copy this Mat Dialog module, go to your VS Code, open app.module.ts. Already opened it. Scroll up, paste this Mat Dialog module, copy it under the ng module import section, paste it. So we are done with this import part. Now we will add one button here. So let's add one button, name it open dialog. Okay, and also put mat button here. Give some color, primary. Okay, so now on click of this button, okay, the dialog box will be triggered. Okay, so what we will do, we will bind a click event here. Okay, and on click we will invoke one method which is open dialog. Okay, now so on click of this button, this method will be invoked and we will write this method in our app.component.ts. Fine. So in order to write the open dialog method, we need to import some of the things. So so let's import mat dialog here, and we will create a constructor here. Okay, now we will inject an instance of mat dialog to this constructor. Okay, so let's write it public dialog is an instance of mat dialog. Fine. Now Let's write open dialog method. Okay, now what we will do in this open dialog, we will open one component. Okay, so what we will do, first create one component here. Type ng for Angular, G to generate, C for component, name it dialog box. Okay, it will take a couple of seconds to create the component. You can see the dialog box component is created. Okay, so what we will do, we will use this dot dialog, which is an instance of this mat dialog, and this mat dialog has one method, that is open. So it will open pop-up for us. So open. Okay, and so what we will open here, we will open this dialog box component. Okay, so dialog box component. Okay, and also we will provide some width. So let's give some width to the pop-up. So width is suppose 250 pixel. Okay, so let's put it like 250 pixel. Let's also pass some data to it. Okay, so give some data. I will just give any string, right click. Okay, so this one will be invoked when a dialog is opened. Okay, so basically this will open one pop-up. Now let's see how it looks like on the screen. Okay, so we will do ng so. Okay, so it will take a couple of seconds to compile the code. So so far what we have done, we have put a button, that is open dialog. On click of that button, this open dialog method is invoked, and from here we have used one method of mat dialog, that is open, to open a new component in the pop-up. Okay, so let's go and see. Click on new tab, click localhost 4200. You can see one button here, right? Click on it. So after clicking on it, you can see one pop-up is coming here, right? Now on click of this cursor anywhere, it disappears, right? So what is happening? On click of button, this open dialog method is invoked, and this is invoking a pop-up, and we are calling this dialog box component. And if you see here in the HTML, in the dialog box component, we have this dialog box works, right? So that was appearing on our pop-up, right? So whatever content that we want on that pop-up, we can add here in the HTML, right? So let's add some content to it. So let's go to our official website, click on overview, click on view code. Okay, so if you see here, dialog overview, example component, what we will do, we will copy all this HTML thing, come to our VS code. So we will just paste those here. Okay, we will remove this data binding because we haven't passed this kind of data. Okay, so let's remove this also. Now let's go to our TS. Okay, if you see here, you can copy this code here, go to your VS code, go to your dialog box component.ts and paste it here. Copy this code, go to your VS code, press enter, paste it. You can remove this already written constructor. Now we need to import mat dialog ref at mat data dialog here. Okay, so let's scroll up, import mat dialog data and mat dialog ref, right? Dialog ref. So we have imported it, and also we need to import inject here. Okay, so let's see how our screen looks like. We are getting one error here. So what is that error? So if you see here, right, this component, we need to replace it with its own component. Okay, so let me first show you how UI looks like, then I will explain everything. Go to your demo app, click on open dialog. You can see, right, this all message that we have in the HTML is coming up. If you click on no thanks, or okay, click on no thanks, it will disappear, right? So what we have done, let me go through the summary how we have implemented it. So first we imported this mat dialog module. Okay, so we have imported this mat dialog module. After importing this, in the app.component.html, we have given one button. On this button, we have attached a click event. So on click of this button, this openDialog method will be invoked. Okay, and in the app component.ts, we have written this openDialog method. So here we have this .dialog.open. We have imported this mat dialog. Okay, and mat dialog has one method like open or close to open or close the pop-up. Okay, so basically when you write this .dialog.open, it will open one pop-up. In that pop-up, it will render this dialog box components content. Okay, so now let's go to this dialog box component. Okay, here what we have done, in the HTML we have written some content and we have given two buttons, one to no thanks and one to okay. Okay, on no thanks we are triggering one method which is on no click. Okay, so and we are writing this on no click method in dialog box component.ts. Here we need to import this mat dialog data, mat dialog ref. Okay, so if you want, after consoling this data, whatever data that we had passed from app.component.ts, if you see this data is right click, right? So actually we are passing this data to our dialog box component, right? And here we are injecting this mat dialog data to receive this data. Okay, and we have just console it so that we can see what data we are getting, right? So we should get right click. Let's go to our Chrome, right click, inspect, click on console, click on console, click on open dialog, click on no thanks. You can see, right, this right click is consoling here. So in this way we can also transfer the data from component to the dialog box. Okay, so in this way you can implement this mat dialog box. One more thing, you can also customize its width and height. So let me show you that also. Go to app.component.ts. You see I have given this width as 250 pixel. If you give it as 550 pixel, give some height, give some height also. Let's suppose 350 pixel. Okay, comma. Now let's see how it looks like. Okay, click on open dialog. You can see, right, the height and width has been changed. You click on no thanks, it will get closed. So in this way you can implement open dialog and you can customize its width, height. You can transfer the data from component to the dialog box. So these are the different use cases which you can use with the dialog box. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.